Okay, hello everyone. Moxie here. Today I'm going to be talking about Dead by Daylight instead of showing you gameplay, or rather I'm showing you gameplay, but I'm also talking about it at the same time over my gameplay. This is gameplay from my stream earlier. Both of these games that I'm going to be showing you actually came from today, and they are both some of the laggiest games I've ever had in Dead by Daylight. Now, this is a big problem lately that the devs acknowledged on stream yesterday, but honestly don't have enough of a stance about. Or rather, they have the wrong stance about it, I think, because they don't understand what the problem is. Now, what you're seeing here is actually a Chinese killer changing his Steam download region to be able to play in a game with me here in the US, and basically, since he's the host, I can't do anything about it. There's just really nothing at all. Luckily here, he actually lags himself out because of the poor connection, or he decides to quit. I don't really know what's up. And, I mean, that's basically the problem right there. It's gonna cut to me speaking about it in a second because I did not want to type out where he lives. But here you go. Yeah, here you are. Chongqing, China. Chongqing fucking China. Anyway, basically, that's the big problem. Now, the devs yesterday, they had a question on stream, said, hey, can we get something where we'll see our connection to the killer? Basically, their answer was no, we don't want you to be able to dodge, even if the killer's connection is bad, which I don't follow their logic here. They said at the same sentence, indeed, that they wanted to improve the matchmaking where you wouldn't have to have this happen, but there's no way to do that unless you're region locking people into their own places. And even then, this game is a lag switcher. This isn't like poor region locker. This isn't like going to be fixed with region lock. This guy is literally lagging his connection only when he sees people. And it's really frustrating. I mean, on top of this, we have the system where the killer is the host, and actually, because of the way that, apparently, this was a post on Reddit the other day from Network Tech. I know nothing about this situation. I'll put his post on Reddit in the description. But apparently now we could get each other's personal information, house location, whatever, just from fucking playing with people because of the way things work. It's a huge problem. I think the devs really need to address it, and pretty much I just want to say that I think it's really lazy and out of touch for the devs to not take a really heavy stance on something that breaks the core concept of the game as much of this. This is, in my opinion, much worse than Infinite Window Jukes, much worse than Trapper being able to double trap, much worse than Hillbilly making people unable to be healed past half health, because this entirely impairs your gameplay. I mean, right there, I vaulted through the window, hit the wall, and got stuck, got hit, and ended up on the other side. I mean, here I'm gonna yell at the guy again, but it's fucking whatever.
Oh yeah, we don't need a ping indicator. We don't want people leaving games. Well, shit, I don't want to play the game when it's like this.
And there's my opinion on the subject, I guess. I mean...
And now he's gonna hook at me!
I mean, that's like a huge deal. That this guy can just lag his connection specifically when he sees me, get free kills, basically, and then, I don't know, camp me on the hook till death. I'm sure the other guys probably won after that, but I died on the hook for sure. And there was nothing I could do about it. Like, you can't infinite window juke them, you can't run away from them, they run faster than you, or you run faster than them in some extreme cases. But it's really, really strange how all this works out. Now, I ranted a lot about what the problem was. My proposed fix would honestly be, yeah, just give us a ping indicator, or at the very least, like, region lock the game as soon as possible. These guys from China should not be able to just be like, oh yeah, I want to play with Americans. I want to host my game in China for Americans. This is a terrible idea. Like, Imagine Counter-Strike, and this is a very, very, very big comparison I'm making here. Imagine a Counter-Strike game. Imagine competitive Counter-Strike. And instead of having tournaments, We just, let everybody stay in their comfort of their own home. All of the pros, we fixed all the hacking issues. They could never hack from the comfort of their own home, and we just let them stay home. And, some American team, I think Cloud9's American, went up against, the top tier number one Korean team. Sure, all of these American guys are all in their own homes. All these Korean guys are all in their own homes. And we let the Koreans host. Now imagine a Counter-Strike or a tournament, Americans versus Koreans, where the Koreans are hosting, because I am very sure that would not be a competitive or a fun game. And I am also very, very, very sure that nobody would want to watch that, nobody would want to play it. Nobody wants to play a laggy game. I think region lock is very, very important if you're going to have any kind of competitive nature associated with your game, especially when we're rolling with a rank system that I still don't quite agree with, but if it's going to be in the game needs to be polished up a lot more than it is right now. I bought it, I'm satisfied with it, I've played a bunch of hours with it, I'm playing it with my friends, I'm playing it on stream, I'm doing a lot of stuff with the game, but it does have a lot of glaring issues, and I really, really, really like it if they would be addressed more. And the devs, I think, especially on these streams, they need to get way more in touch with their game. Some of them, they come on stream, they don't know what window juking is. Some of them, they come on stream and they don't know about certain bugs that are going on, and they don't know what it's like to go against a killer that has been playing with you specifically because he's circumvented region lock on Steam. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that these guys are so out of touch with their own game that they don't know some of the biggest issues about it, and then they want to come to us and say they know what they're doing, and they're coming out with more content. But the more content that they're coming out with, we're coming out with a new killer and a new survivor soon, apparently. We're coming out with more cosmetics, and yet we still have bugs where people in this game are just getting stuck at the bottom of a hill for the whole game. And we have bugs where you can run in between a locker and a wall in the little sheet metal house that spawns on every single map, and the killer can't pick you up. And if you stand there for long enough with the killer trying to pick you up, you can't be picked up anymore at all. You can walk out and the killer won't be able to pick you up, and the survivors won't be able to heal you, and you can't recover yourself, and you're now stuck crawling around for 5 minutes because you just bugged yourself. And that can happen just by standing next to a window even, and they can't fix these bugs, but they can very readily come out with new content. And I understand very well that new content people and bug fix people aren't exactly the same people. But I also really feel like... I'm thinking of the words. I've been ranting for a while. I also really feel like they give us so much information, or I mean, it's not any information at all. It's just a little teases and tidbits about what's coming, but they give us so much about that, but they never give us we looked at the bug where you guys get stuck on the hill today, and we're seeing if we can get a fix on that in the future. Or, you know how Trapper can put 2 traps in the same place right now, and it's fucking terrifying, and there's really very little counterplay to it, and it shouldn't happen? Yeah, well, we're gonna be trying to fix it for the next patch, so you guys won't have to deal with that shit anymore. They're very forthcoming about... Oh god, don't... Screen splash, or splash screen. Time screensaver. They're really forthcoming about, oh yeah, we're coming out with new content, we're trying to keep the game fresh for you guys, but they're not very ready at all to admit their own mistakes in the game's code and in the game's balance, and be like, yeah, we know we made a mistake on this, and we're trying to fix it. Because the only thing they've done that for so far is window juking, and it's honestly not even the biggest problem the game is facing right now, as opposed to killers that can lag you so much that window juking doesn't even matter, or just fucking getting stuck in the ground and you can't do anything, and the killer can walk up to you, kill you, pick you up, and just take you to a hook, and you can do nothing, and you especially can't do anything once the crows start cawing and he knows exactly where you are because of the crows. And I don't know. Just The fact that they do these things to us and they come on these streams, and I guess it feels to me like they pretend everything is all fine and good, but it's really not with the game a lot of the time. And certainly, I might be in a minority here. Maybe nobody else ever goes up against these Chinese players, but I get them all the time. This was 2 games out of, I think I played 6 today. Maybe, 2 out of 6 games. That's a 1 in 3 chance that I'm running up against a Chinese killer at, 10 in the morning? My time? American time? Eastern time? Much less if I, play at 4 in the morning, which at that point, I understand, 4 in the morning, I'll just take whatever kind of games I can get. But if I'm playing at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, good old US of A, Eastern Coast, I don't really want to be playing with Chinese people. I don't really want to be playing with German people. I've been playing against a German streamer before. I checked out his Twitch stream. Dude was speaking German, had German chat, was in Germany. His Steam profile said Germany. Everything is Germany. Why is this guy playing with me at peak hours in the US in the middle of the day? It's just a massive issue, and I'm just sitting here whining at this point. So, I don't know. This video was supposed to be 3 minutes long, and it's now 11. Right, in that case, let's just keep it going and start talking about other things that I can talk about, like specific proposed fixes. I've already told you guys, I want region lock really bad, and I also want a ping indicator in the lobby. I think both of those go a long way to making sure that games are fair and balanced, such that, yeah, maybe the survivors will try and pick and choose, ping that's good for them, but who's to say survivors shouldn't be able to do that? The killer always has good ping. The survivors should always have good ping as well to make themselves on even ground. Host advantage is bad enough sometimes when you're getting hit behind pallets that you've already, fucking dropped down. But it gets even worse when the host advantage is teleporting you back through windows, getting you stuck on top of windows, which I've never actually seen before. That was a first, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the lag. And then we talk about window jukes. They already said they were addressing that. They're going to address it with map design, hopefully. And I really just hope it doesn't go further than map design. I think the targeted nerf towards window juking a few patches ago was a good step in the right direction, but it very obviously wasn't enough to stop the problem entirely. And I really think it just straight up map design, that the wretched shop, there should not be 3 windows next to each other ever. One of those windows should be a door. And pretty much all of these little houses that just have 2, 3, 4 windows right up next to each other, or a window where you can go back and forth with enough time where the killer can't actually walk around in the time it takes you to get back and forth through that window to hit you. None of that should ever exist. But at the same time, when that gets fixed, they should be implementing more ways to hide. They should be implementing better ways to juke the killer naturally without these window jukes, because a good killer will not be fooled without window jukes, and that is a huge problem right now. I play games as a killer. I very, very rarely actually lose people, because it's so easy to play as a killer and just find people. I saw 1 pixel of a Jake's back hiding behind a rock, and it gave me survivor found. I never would have seen him, but the game gave me that, and it's a huge problem when I can do that, if I could do that, and the survivors couldn't window juke. Not that it should stay in, but it needs fixes as well as being removed. And then we get into perks. Teachable perks shouldn't exist, straight up. They ruin the entire, they ruin a lot of the game. They ruin the depth of strategy, saying, oh, well, this Jake is, these Jakes sabotage, and Meg's run fast, and Claudette's heal, and Dwight's hide in closets. They ruin that depth of strategy. All of a sudden, Jakes can hide in closets, and these Claudettes are sabotaging my things. And this fucking, it just ruins it, and this Meg is healing, and fucking Dwight is running fast. I mean, like, they're a good idea on the surface, but now that you have just survivors running the golden trifecta of Saboteur, Sprint Burst, Self-Heal, there's got to be diminishing returns at one point. If you're going to keep them in, give diminishing returns the more teachables you have on you. Or maybe even for specific teachables. Because Iron Will is a good teachable, but it doesn't break the game as much as giving you free access to Self-Heal or Saboteur do. Sprint Burst isn't even the worst thing that I can think of since the nerf, but just giving the survivors the option to always be able to Self-Heal themselves without a medkit, or always be able to sabotage without a toolbox is huge, and they should not be able to be like put in conjunction with each other without severe diminishing returns. Like, they should go back to basically being tier 1. And that's basically it. Like, just diminishing returns. Like, hey, if you're running these two perks in conjunction, both of them get weaker. Like, if you're running Self-Heal and Saboteur in conjunction, both of them, instead of being 50% speed, they come down to like 20-25%. So you get half, but you also get the best of both worlds. Because perks should be just that. They should be perks. They shouldn't be these game-changing, like, monsters that they are. And when you do that, you have to look at NOED, because NOED, at its current moment, is the counter. And this is how I feel about a lot of the killer perks. A lot of the killer perks are just counters to how, ungodly, terribly balanced survivor perks are. NOED is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea for a perk, and it's only like moderately acceptable because the survivors have terrible perks, because you've got these Claudettes that are going to run around self-healing themselves the whole game and you'll never kill them. You've got these Megs that are going to sprint away the whole game and you'll never kill them. You've got these Jakes that'll like fucking run around sabotaging your hooks, your traps, your whatever the whole game, and you'll never hook them because all your hooks are gone. Unless you have Iron Grasp 3. You need Iron Grasp 3 to deal with sabotage. It is a requirement at the higher levels of play. And once you have all this, maybe they run Adrenaline and they get healed up to full when the generator's there. And once the generators are up and the doors are open, and basically, NOED is your counter to that. Like, that's it. Like, the survivors have totally screwed you the whole game, and now you get a chance to come back from being the garbage player that you were. And it's bad design. Because a killer that was losing should not be suddenly winning just because this perk activated. And it activated via something the survivors have to do eventually. It's poor design, in my opinion. But it's poor design that is made passable by other poor design, which is actually how a lot of this game goes in the end. And then, once that's looked at, Iron Grasp will never ever be touched unless Saboteur gets touched, because you need Iron Grasp to do anything about Saboteur. If they sabotage all the hooks on the map, you either let them all bleed out or you have Iron Grasp and you take them to the basement and there's no alternative. And this is a terrible idea. It's a terrible plan. It's why Saboteur is not acceptable as a perk, because you can shut down the killer so hard in so many ways by just using this one perk and taking in a toolbox and making it 100% or more effective while you're at it. I mean, why not? It lasts twice as long now. Sabotage like 6 hooks with a single toolbox. And not even get the fucking debuff. The 50% speed debuff from Saboteur. But I mean, those are the main offenders for perks. I think... Yeah, there's not really much else. Fight for the Shadows is pretty good. It's like... whatever, though. I mean, it's gross. It's probably really good. I don't have it yet. I don't play with it. But, I've never seen it as an issue. It's just those main teachables. They're fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, the killers have garbage teachables except for, like, Shadowborn, Brutal Strength. I think that's it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody run any teachable other than those. That's kind of unacceptable, that the survivors have such good teachables and then the killers just kind of rely on NOED and Iron Grasp to get them by. Yeah, this rant has been almost 20 minutes now. It's also been fairly, what's the word? My mind's blowing up now. I'm completely mush after ranting so long. It was completely and utterly just a mess of me yelling about things I hate about the game. But, I mean, it's kind of what you need. You need to know what you hate about the game, but you also need to know about what you love about the game, and I might do a separate video on that. I would do it now, but we're already running 20 minutes, and that'd be a big issue for YouTube if I... Yeah, pretty much. I gotta find other gameplay now to put over this that's probably not whining about my lag. I don't know. God damn it. Anyway. So yeah, that's been my rant about the current state of Dead by Daylight. Most of the issues that it has. Essentially, TLDR, I touched on the bugs. I touched on the way that the killer is the host of everything and that it's totally messed up. I touched on the way that perks are, calculated, the way they work, teachables, stuff like that. Basically, the balance of the game. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed my rant. I hope I wasn't too annoying. And maybe next time I'll work on the video of what I actually like about the game, because I really don't want anybody to take this video the wrong way, and I'll probably put a footnote at the front. Don't take the video the wrong way if you've watched this whole thing. I love this game to bits and pieces. I can check my Steam right now. I have 126 hours, and I'm going to put plenty more into the game. But I firmly believe that the game will never get better if we don't tell the devs what we hate about the game, what we hate that they're doing. And if the game doesn't improve, the game doesn't get better, it's going to be my Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I put over 1,000 hours into that game, and then they basically just said, fuck you guys. They gave us the R8, they ruined assault rifles. That one patch destroyed, and then they did the matchmaking entirely. They reworked the whole game in ways that nobody asked them to. And it ruined the game for me. Just because these devs are so out of touch with their own game. Even when they reverted most of these changes, except for the matchmaking changes, I didn't want to go back. Like, if the devs are that out of touch with their own game, that they're going to make, such big issues out of things that we never, ever asked for, instead of things we did ask for, then I don't want to stick around for the game, So I really think just communicating with the devs as a community will keep this game running in the long term a lot better than it is at the current moment. And who knows, maybe someday I'll make Rank 1 Survivor without them actually putting in regional lock to the game. That'd be fucking surprising, because I die within the first 5 minutes every single time, and that's me being salty. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time in whatever I decide to do next.